Good afternoon, everybody. I am Professor Ramanan Bala, Professor RB at NMIMS University MPSTME College. This video is all about how to create or use your Google Forms for creating your MCQ questions, multiple choice questions. For that, of course, first you need your Google ID, your Gmail ID. So I normally recommend don't use a personal ID. Maybe you create one ID only for conducting exams. So that will be much more simpler, and that's what I did. I don't use my personal Gmail ID for this. I've created a separate ID for this. Once you have done that, then you go to your 6 buttons out here. From here you can access your Google Forms, or you can go to this URL and then type Google Forms. So these are the 2 steps of accessing it. So I go and click on my 6 buttons out here, and it opens up a lot of applications of Google. So one application of Google is Google Forms. I click on this form. So since I've created an exclusive ID called as professorrbgmail.com, that's why you can see all the forms are here. So I use only this ID for conducting exams, whether it is M1, M2 or M3. Now once you are in this page, you have to start creating your MCQs. 2 ways of creating your MCQs. You can start typing your MCQs in the system, or you can copy that from your already created MCQs in a Word document. I will show you that step. So click on the blank form first, and once you click on the blank form, it opens up the blank form. You can see there are 3 tabs out here. The first one is the question tab, second one is the response, third one is settings. I will take you through all those things. So the first thing which I have to mandatorily do is create a name for my MCQ questions. So I go to the untitled form, and here I give a name, and let me call this as exam test demo. And then I can give the form descriptions, all questions mandatory, or whatever it is. Alright, and then click on this untitled form here. If you see here, this is the name of the test, but the form is still untitled. So just click on this, it copies the exam test demo as the name of the form, and all the changes are saved in the drive, so you don't have to worry about where the files and the locations. It's all there in the drive of your Gmail account. Once I do this, I do 3 mandatory steps, which is the best practices which we have figured it out. 1, I first make sure that people enter roll number. Why? Because when I download all these answers by students, I have to sort them by roll number and their marks, because I have to post that in the ICA portal. So that is why I always say enter the roll number, and I make this as a required field. And then I go to the plus button out here, which is add questions. Okay, click on the plus button. Second question is enter your name, and make this mandatory field. So you can have 3-4 mandatory fields like roll number, enter the name, enter your SAP ID, enter your division, so on and so forth. Now once I say enter your name and roll number, then this one more important thing which I do as a best practice, we figured it out, is very good, is called as enter exam code. Why I do this is basically I want to ensure that all the students are on the same page. Nobody complains me saying that the link is not working, I'm not able to open the link. So I make sure that once the code is entered, then only the MCQ starts. Now what is a code? I go to this 3 dot buttons out here and click on respond validation. So here's where I make sure the secret code. So I click on text, it can be number or text. Text contains alphanumeric, I say it is RB211911. Custom test error is enter code as given, something like that. So if a guy tries to enter something wrong, it corrects him. Make this as a required field. So these are the mandatory inputs which I take from the students, and then I click on this plus question again, if at all I want to add any more inputs. Or what I do is, next step is I create a section. So the first section contains some mandatory informations, and the second section is where the MCQ starts. The title of the second section is saying MCQ questions. Now I create my MCQ questions out here. I create the plus button first. Here's where I enter my questions and my options. So either I type the question directly, or I can copy paste from my Word document. So how can I copy paste from my Word document? So I go to my Word document, I select the question which I want to copy, Control C, go back to my form, Control V, I don't want this one number, remove it, and I go back to my form again. I want to copy paste my options, but please make a note out here, I don't want to copy A, B, C and D, E, so I go and change this to no bullets, and then I copy this 5 options and paste it here in option 1 and see what happens. Gmail intelligently assumes that these are 5 options and it has automatically pasted it there. Now I want to mark this as a multiple choice question with marks, but I'm not able to do that anywhere here. Why? Because I have still made this as a form and not as a quiz. So the first thing which I have to do here is go to my settings tab and then make this as a quiz option. Once I make this as a quiz option, then automatically the questions will be then considered as MCQs. So these questions will be automatically considered as MCQs. So first thing you do is you go to the settings before even creating MCQs, check this box as make this as a quiz. Then go back to the questions and then create the first question. Now you see what happens. I go back and redo the same work. I select my first question and paste it here. Now I go to my options and then paste the options here. Now if you see, automatically it is recognized this as a quiz. That's why it's asking me the answer key. I click on the answer key, identify the right answer, give the mark for this question as 1 and click on done. So the question is created, the options are created, click on the answer key, select the right answer, give the score to it as 1 point, and then click on these 3 buttons and say shuffle option order. A very quick recap. You can copy paste the questions, so please copy paste the questions from your Word document, or you can type the questions. Make sure that this is multiple choice. Copy paste all the options, click on the answer key, select the answer, give the point as 1 or whatever marks you want to give, then click on these 3 dot buttons out here and then say shuffle options. So this completes your setting up of the MCQ questions. So by this you can do that for 10, 15, 20 questions. And once all these things are done and ready, go to the settings tab once again. In the settings tab, if you remember, we had clicked on make this as a quiz. This is the first thing you do, and then don't keep it as immediately after submission. You say later after manual submission. Then uncheck all those 3 buttons. I don't need these 3 buttons. Uncheck all those 3 buttons. So I'll go here and say later after manual submission, and I uncheck these 3 buttons. I still go down, default values. I'm giving the marks of what each question has a mark in the questions itself. I don't need to do anything here. All I need to do is go to my presentation tab, and here says shuffle question order. Go to the presentation tab and say shuffle question order. So these are the only few steps which you have to do when you are going to the settings tab. So a quick recap: when you are at the settings tab, first make sure that you select this as a quiz, later after manual review, and then shuffle question order. That's all you have to do. So your settings is ready. The question paper is ready. Go to the questions tab. You see all your questions are there. How does this question paper will look like? Click on the preview. You will see the preview. This is how the question paper looks like. So what we do is that we make sure that the students come in for the class exactly at 9:45 or 9:30 a.m. Then I will post this link, and exactly at 10 a.m. I will release the code, and I'll say students that you have 15 minutes to answer the MCQs. This is what is the announcement we do. After doing this, the students will start answering the questions. Now, one important thing is, how am I going to post this link? So what we normally do is, we post this link exactly at the start of the exam. For that, you have to go to send button, click on send button, click on the center tab out here, and then you have to copy this link. So click on shorten URL and copy this link. So the link is copied. So I go to my cloud. From where you want to post this link? You can post this link from MS Teams or also from Zoom. So if my students are there in my MS Teams, I open up MS Teams out here. So once the MS Teams starts, since I conduct classes in MS Teams, it is easy for me to post my Google Form link in MS Teams. So this is the class, and at exactly the I know that I have 53 students in my class. So I go to my class out here, and here's where I post my my question paper. So once I start the class, I click on new conversation, and here's where I copy paste the link. So then the link is pasted. So the students are there in my class, they will click on the link and they will answer the questions. As the students have been given the time, I keep saying the best response here is that when I say 10 minutes left, people will start responding. They will click on submit button. Here the response will keep on increasing, 1, 2, 3, 4. And once after 15 minutes is over, I keep saying 10 minutes left, 5 minutes, last 1 minute left, 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I say stop accepting responses. So by this the test gets over, all the responses are received. Let me show you how does a response form look like from one of my already created test, which is out here. So when I look at, once I received all the response after 10 minutes, it says that you have received 51 responses. I click on my responses, and here I click on this Excel responses. It opens up the entire response where I have the response by email address, app IDs, the roll numbers and the scores. Then I can download this and then email this to whosoever requires, whether the exam department requires or the test conductor requires, I can do that. So this completes the entire test of how do you create Google Forms, how do you do the settings, how do you go to responses, stop the responses as soon as the time is over, click on the view responses sheet and download the Excel sheet. So that completes this quick presentation. In case you have any queries, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'm available at my desk here in 8th floor, NMIMS building, 842 West Wing 842, or my mobile number 961-9892-885, Ramanan Balakrishnan @nmims.edu, or you can contact exam department, who will then forward the queries to me. Thank you very much. Nice doing this small demo for you. All the best. Thank you.